Many MMOs rise and fall, appear then disappear, never to be seen again. The ones that actually make it to the market, which seems to be rare, oftentimes end up pooping out a greedy cash shop that dips its logs a little too deep into modern day gaming's worst enemy, pay to win. While other MMOs just really don't seem to have what it takes to hold any sort of true longevity. Their failure to create a place where a loyal community can be born, grow, and ultimately thrive, like we used to see in the good old days, is far too common. I think much of this comes down to many modern day companies focusing too much on streamlining things to the masses to get those initial sales. This often creates a game where many might show a little interest at first, but it doesn't last long. It's kind of like having an important massive dinner party, but deciding not to serve the lobster tail because you're scared that some people might not like it. So instead you make everyone plain cheese cold sandwiches. The result ends up being that everybody probably picks at it and eats it a little because they're hungry, but no one is really enjoying it and certainly not going to remember it as a special dinner in a positive light. So in today's video, I'm going to talk about and show you guys an upcoming MMORPG that I really feel deserves some more awareness, and it goes by the name of Pantheon: Rise of the Fallen. I'm going to quickly first go over the company, then give you guys a general idea as to what this MMO is and what it has in it, and to end the video, perhaps the most important part in my opinion, I'm going to show you guys why I think that this MMO and these game developers in particular are so very, very important for modern day gaming times. And if you guys are from the golden age of MMOs back in the late 90s and early 2000s, you're definitely going to want to stick around for that part. Keep in mind that this game is still in development, and I'm using footage from various stages of the game's development. Links to my Twitter and my Discord server will be below. Let's get right into it. Pantheon: Rise of the Fallen is currently in development by a company by the name of Visionary Realms Incorporated. The game was initially announced alongside a Kickstarter campaign back in 2014, but unfortunately their Kickstarter funding goal was not reached, so the company went on to launch their own website where they could now receive direct funding. The first gameplay we saw was revealed on a Twitch livestream in 2016, and initially the alpha was supposed to take place in 2017, but never happened. Unfortunately, in 2019, Visionary Realms' Chief Creative Officer, Brad McQuaid, passed away. Some of you may know of him from his work on the classic MMO EverQuest, where he served as one of the lead game designers. Really sad stuff. Well, now it's 2021, so what's going on? The good news is that the company has been very active throughout 2020, posting monthly development update videos on their YouTube channel. And also in January of 2021, which is this year, they received a nice investment from a private party. Also in January, Twitch streamer CoCarnage was given limited access to the pre-alpha build for this game, where he played for a couple of hours alongside one of the game developers. So maybe, just maybe, this game might see the light of day. But what is this MMO even all about? Pantheon is a high fantasy, massive multiplayer role-playing game that's going to be a deeply social game that challenges its players and rewards efforts. Challenges and social are the two key words there. There's going to be a huge focus on social MMO aspects, and you will be forming friendships, groups, and guilds if you want to actually play the game. This MMO is going to be a bit hardcore in terms of challenging MMO content. You're not going to be running through all of the dungeons, completing all of the content as a maniac solo wizard. Strategizing, execution, and group roles will all be very, very important. You're likely going to have to use your brain while playing, and I know that can be uncommon these days, and your group is going to rely on you to do your job. This MMO is going to be more reminiscent of the MMOs from the late 90s and early 2000s, the golden years of MMOs. Challenging content, meaningful character progression, and compelling social and group-oriented play is of prime importance, but there will also be many opportunities for solo play and of course raiding. This game comes across as a more hardcore PvE game, but there will be some PvP and even possibly PvP servers on launch. It's important to note that the team wants to build PvP upon a solid PvE foundation. the PvE comes first and foremost. This makes me very excited because we also have the upcoming MMO called Ashes of Creation, which is kind of doing the opposite of this and seemingly building PvE on top of a solid PvP foundation. Both of these games are taking on a bit of a riskier approach, and they are in fact embracing the risk versus reward game style that might not appeal to the masses. These are not participation trophy games, which is exactly why we need to support companies that are actually willing to go this route and help save modern day gaming. Pantheon will take place in the high fantasy fictional world of Terminus, a world full of powerful deities, valiant heroes, insidious enemies, and fantastic creatures. You will be exploring a rich landscape of fragmented civilizations that were forced together by massive planar collisions. Getting out and exploring to the far corners of the world will be vital for character progression. If you don't take any risk, you won't ever achieve your desires. The world will have some verticality, and there will be a climbing system to complement that. There will be a perception system that encourages players to keep a keen eye and a sharp ear so they don't miss the world revealing its secrets through the environment. And there will also be an acclimation system for gaining entry into harsh climates to conquer those great challenges that lie within. Climates can be extreme environments in this game, and they can cause detrimental effects to your character. These effects can be mitigated through this acclimation system. For example, there will be effects such as frozen lungs, frostbite, and hypothermia. This is really neat stuff for an MMO. Pantheon will feature at least 9 unique races, each of which have their own special racial features, as well as a list of corresponding classes that they can be combined with. For example, you have the Scar race right here, which gets a 5% boost to max health, has 20% resistance to fear effects, and they get a movement boost when in range of other Scar group members. Then you have the Dark Mirror race, which gets underwater breathing and increased swimming speed. They get bonuses to the Insight skill, Stealth, and Awareness, and also get an innate bonus to Anaerobic and Pressure Acclimation, which are of course environmental type conditions. There will be 12 classes. Most of these are your traditional MMO type classes, but there are some more unique ones such as the Dire Lord, which is a tank type class that masters the crippling power of fear and can manipulate the very essence of their enemies. This class gets abilities that slow enemies by corrupting their blood, abilities to mark an ally with a dire mark, which will revert some of the damage that the ally is taking into themselves, and much more. If we take a quick look at the druid, we can see that they get an ability called Firefly, which will summon a firefly to travel with you, serving as a light source. They get to harness the traits of animals. They get heals and party buffs. And there's an interesting ability on here called Vine Woven Bridge, which allows a druid to form a bridge of interlocking vines, allowing players to cross over gaps that are too far to jump. Abilities like that give me a lot of hope for a game like this. Many other games wouldn't risk putting areas in that require a specific class ability like this, because they're scared to anger a group that might not have that ability in their party at the time of discovering the wide gap. Not Pantheon though, they seem to really understand the importance of uniqueness and offering true value for the different roles that players will play, even if it causes some temporary frustration for a group. As ironic as it may be, in my opinion, the possibility for frustration to occur actually makes for a better experience than a game that doesn't allow for it to ever happen. Those are typically the more streamlined experiences where no one is ever truly happy, but no one is really that mad either. Boring, average experiences. The last thing I'll briefly touch on before we move on to the final segment of the video is crafting. Crafting will be an important part of the game, and there will be a big emphasis on cooperation between adventurers and crafters. Both types of players will need each other. Some items will drop from mobs, some will be harvestable, and others are crafted. Many of the game's dropped items will be able to be customized by bringing the gear to a crafter to be tailored to a player's specific needs. So that's a general overview of what this MMO is, but now onto the most important part, which really shows the mindset of the game developers behind this game. I'm going to show you guys some quotes from Visionary Realms themselves. These quotes or excerpts or whatever you want to call them really stuck in my head and gave me hope that the old school MMO feelings that I used to get back in the day might resurface in 2021 and beyond. Right on the Pantheon MMO website, it says, "Earn your glory. No hand-holding, no easy mode. The greater the risk, the greater the reward. Bring friends, you'll need them." I absolutely love to hear things like this. As many of you can already tell, I'm a player who tends to get bored if everything is handed to me in easy mode. Feeling a true sense of accomplishment is something that I and many others thrive on. And if this is done in a social setting with friends and a lot of teamwork going on, these experiences can honestly be somewhat life-changing. Next to this quote, it says, "Strategize. Running through a dungeon isn't a matter of 5 minutes and some area effect spells. Encounters take thought, strategy, and teamwork. Know your roles and pray your allies do too." Once again, this comes down to them creating a game that is going to force players to be active and present to overcome challenges. Some of the more recent MMOs that I played never truly stuck with me, and much of this was because of dungeons being kind of brain-dead experiences. No communication necessary, party roles didn't matter much, and so on. Now, one game that this was very evident in, but I don't want to bad talk too much because I never really made it that far in Endgame, is the Elder Scrolls Online. Now, despite actually liking that MMO overall, the dungeon experience was really mundane. I went through all of the dungeons to get to max level without really ever saying a word to even one party member. There was no communication, barely any strategizing going on, and as nice as that can be in a way because it's very convenient and easy to do these dungeons, it ended up hurting the overall experience for myself. I would have preferred a more complex experience where I actually had to go through the frustration of finding a group and maybe arguing with people and trying to figure things out. That would have actually made my experience much better, and I would have stuck with that game much longer. Pantheon is specifically stating that this will not be the case with this MMO. Your role in the party, whether tank, DPS, or healer, will be important. The tank is going to be praised if they pull off an amazing play, saving the team from the boss's hammer of doom. The healers will be worshipped when they perform like the true angels that they are. DPS players will be revered when they save their healers from unexpected adds. If you're not doing your role well enough, it will also be pointed out. And that, of course, can make some players nervous, and rightly so. But that's why it's important to carefully choose those that you play with and find yourself good friends and maybe a good guild. This is what it feels like to feel alive when gaming, and not just like a zombie going through the motions. Emotions, excitement, feeling nervous, and feeling important, because you will be important in games like this. I'm honestly excited to be the one who fails and causes a party wipe, because I know that I'm going to be more determined than ever to master it and make a comeback. I also can't wait to help out a player who's in a tough situation and struggling, and we can laugh when it doesn't work out, strategize more, and then scream in joy when it finally does. These feelings are unfortunately dead in many modern day games. We are all zombies feeding the machine. The last excerpt I want to show you that summarizes this up nicely is from the company's FAQ section. Who is the targeted player demographic base for this game, and why? Visionary responds by saying, while some MMOs have been designed with the goal and desire to appeal to all gamers all of the time, we at Visionary Realms believe the future of MMOs is all about creating more focused games, targeting specific gamers with distinct preferences. Pantheon is first and foremost a deeply social game. Players who desire cooperative play, working together as a team, and the shared experiences that result from playing with other real people to overcome challenges will enjoy Pantheon. Players who want an MMO to be their home to interact with communities and player-driven economies will find what they're looking for in Pantheon. Why? We feel that, at least recently, the MMO players who enjoy these elements have been orphaned. In fact, the Visionary Realms team feels they are part of this orphaned group, and it doesn't take a lot of research to find countless articles, blogs, and posts full of players seeking for the kind of experience we aim to offer in Pantheon. Well said, Visionary Realms, well said. And that will be it for today's video. I really get excited when I see game developers with mindsets like these, Visionary Realms, and also Intrepid Studios with Ashes of Creation. It's possible that we might have another golden age of MMOs. Who really knows? I just want to get more awareness out for these games, so at the least we can support them with our eyes and hope that these games actually come out, to be honest with you, because many times they don't. Thanks so much for watching. If you guys ended up enjoying this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. I really appreciate it. I will do more Pantheon videos as time goes on. Links to my Twitter and my shit. I'm doing my intro again. Oh my god, I'm fucking stupid. I do all sorts of videos on this channel, ranging from live streams to game reviews to game tutorials to class guides to lore videos and much more. Also, I'm wearing a winter hat in this one video because I lost my other hat and my hair actually doesn't look too good with the green screen behind me. It gives these weird particle effects and stuff. All right, guys, until next time.